Could a new Xbox be in the works? Xbox Game Studios is the Metacritic Publisher of the Year, and Redfall is deep in development, looking to hire a lot more people. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you enjoy daily gaming news, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is a very interesting find here, leaked here by Tero Alhonen, and it is a screenshot of what we're seeing, which is a code name for potentially a new Xbox or some sort of new Xbox device for the future. Now, of course, this could be nothing. Maybe it's just in there as a placeholder for something that they have a prototype for that will never make it out to release, or maybe it has to do with something with cloud gaming. Who knows? But if you look at the name there, it says Product Xbox Keystone, and it's right under Product Xbox Durango and Product Xbox Scarlet, which were both previous code names for previous Xboxes. Now, Xbox Durango was the Xbox One, Xbox Scarlet was the Xbox Series, and Xbox Keystone is brand new. We've never heard about this before, so this could be pretty much anything. There's a couple of things this could be. Maybe it's a slimmer version of the current Xbox Series X, which is weird to me because I personally think the Xbox Series X is already a really great form factor. Who knows how much smaller they're going to be able to make that console with the amount of power under the hood and all that stuff within it. And then there's other things. Maybe it's a handheld. Maybe Xbox is looking into actually making a native Xbox handheld to play off of the Steam Deck, maybe making this a Game Pass device where you just natively download all of your Game Pass games right onto that handheld. Also can be used for Xbox cloud gaming. Maybe Keystone is a streaming stick for Xbox, or just a small little box you attach to your TV to get access to cloud gaming. Maybe it has to do with the smart TV apps. Nobody really knows, but there is a new codename here that has been discovered called Xbox Keystone, and we will keep our eyes out on this to see if this signifies anything in the future. We know in general there are always refreshes at the very least of the consoles a couple years later, such as making them slimmer and smaller. And then last generation we had that big mid-cycle refresh with the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro. But I personally believe, at least with the Series X, we may not need that mid-cycle refresh, especially with the RDNA 2 technology and the things like machine learning. And once that stuff starts being implemented more with developers, they're already going to be able to make games look significantly better with taking less power. So we'll have to wait and see. My prediction is we're not getting a mid-cycle refresh to give us a more powerful console this time, but I do believe we're going to get some sort of variations of the Xbox Series X and S. I would love it to be a handheld. I know there's the Steam Deck coming, which I'm getting, but I think that there may still be a market Xbox could tap into with a Xbox dedicated handheld that allows you to play all the Game Pass stuff without playing it through the cloud. Or it could also, I'm thinking about this just on the spot, maybe they are thinking about getting into VR to combat the PSVR 2. That's also something that could be in the works. But it does seem like VR isn't really in the plans, at least for the near future for Xbox. But hey, you never know. And maybe this will be nothing, or maybe we'll get an announcement sometime in the near future about some new Xbox products coming. So every fanboy's favorite thing to compare are the Metacritic scores. I don't really care too much about the Metacritic scores, but I do enjoy talking about them because it is interesting to see the comparison that people put out all the time when a new game comes out, just literally throwing up that Metacritic score and thinking that that is the end all and be all of what makes a great game. And sure, there is definitely some merits to reviews and to Metacritic score. Don't get me wrong. My stance on reviews, if it's a game you want to play, is just find some reviewers that you really trust, see their opinions, and see if it's a game you're still willing to try out and play. But if it's a game you really want to play, I would say the best way is always just kind of playing it for yourself. I always think about a game like Crackdown 3, which got like a 3 out of 10 on many websites that I absolutely loved. And if I would have listened to the reviews, I would have never played. But in terms of Metacritic, it's always a comparison point, specifically when talking about Xbox first, PlayStation. And in general, PlayStation first-party games have had always great Metacritic scores, and Xbox has kind of fallen behind, except for in 2021, as Microsoft was Metacritic's highest rated publisher in 2021. So there are 10 products published by Xbox Game Studios, and out of those 10, 3 of them got great scores, which means over 90, and then the rest got good scores. And the average Metascore for Xbox for Microsoft was 87.4, which is extremely high when you're putting everything together. They also say here that this is the first time a publisher has averaged over 85 in a year since its rankings, its annual rankings started back 12 years ago. Now, when we look at Sony, they had an average score of 81.3. They released 12 products, 10 separate games, and then you had MLB The Show, which was a game that was on multiple formats and multiple platforms. And out of those 11 products, 10 were rated good, but none of them were rated great, which again is an average over 90. And Destruction All-Stars really hurt them with that 62 Metascore. We look here at the top 10, you have Microsoft, Xbox Game Studios, Sony, Humble Games, which is interesting, Activision, Blizzard 4th, Bethesda in 5th, Capcom, Bandai Namco, Sega, Electronic Arts, and 505 Games. So there you have it. Microsoft, Xbox Game Studios is the best Metacritic publisher out there, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of people throwing this around and talking about it and comparing it to PlayStation. It is always going to be a talking point going forward, and 2022 is going to be very interesting as well, as Xbox hasn't really released a huge game yet. We're going to see what happens with like Starfield and any of their other future games that come out this year, but we do have Horizon Forbidden West that got a great Metacritic score, so Sony is off to a good start, at least so far in 2022. So one of the big announcements at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase at E3 last year was the last announcement of the show, and that was Redfall coming from Arkane. And there was a lot of confusion, I think, when this game was first shown off. People were thinking it was like a Left 4 Dead style game, going to be a games as a service, but we know now that it is a larger first-person shooter, narrative-rich game that you can play solo, you can play co-op, which really, for me personally, has increased my excitement for this game. I actually can't wait for it just because of that fact alone, that there is going to be a deep narrative, there's vampires, and it looks like it's going to be great gameplay, which is the most important thing because Arkane is known for their great gameplay. Now, this game is supposed to be releasing in 2022, and it still has a lot of work to do, it seems like, based off of what they're looking to hire. So they say here, come help us build immersive action adventure games with narrative rich worlds at Arkane Austin. They have Redfall here, new AAA project, and they're looking for art and animation people, a bunch of positions here, as well as programmers. Now, from this poster, you look at it, obviously they're promoting Redfall. The entire thing signifies that all of these positions are for Redfall, but the tweet does mention games, plural, with narrative rich worlds, again plural, so it means that maybe some of these people will be working on multiple projects, or not all of them are going to be focused directly on Redfall. Redfall is supposed to be coming out this summer. That's right now what we know about it. I hope it does come out. I think it would be a great 2022 release. You add that on top of Starfield, really will make the end of this year, the last quarter or so, just another huge quarter for Xbox Game Studios. And I'm, like I said, very much looking forward to this game. Hopefully we get some gameplay soon. There was a beta or an alpha or something that we did see, and I believe this was from a beta from last September, so it is old. It obviously isn't anywhere close to being ready from these leaked screenshots. There was also a little mini video, but you get kind of a better understanding of what this game is all about, the inventory, the different characters within there, as well as the skills that they have, and you kind of see the aesthetic for the setting itself. And I think this game looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. It's cool that there's vampires, it's not zombies, it's a different style, probably lots of various different enemies. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope they do make that 2022 release. That's it for me, guys. What are your thoughts on Xbox Project's Keystone? What do you think that is going to be? Xbox winning Metacritic Publisher of the Year. What do you think about that? And Redfall, do you think it's going to be released in 2022? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, if you like what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.